how do we actually implement all of this as a habit? So step one is to find or create your Joshua moment. So like Joshua in the Bible, right? A Joshua moment is a situation where you are basically forced into a big transition and there's really no turning back and you have to make that thing work. Now, of course, the purpose of this is to open up a neuroplasticity window. Now, that being said, you don't want to just go make stupid financial decisions. Don't just quit your job and, say, and have no plan to make money, right? You want to be smart about it. But there must be a moment, of drawing the line and actually being willing to lay down something as a sacrifice to move in a direction that you will not turn back from. So one example for me was about half a year ago, I decided to do a 21-day water fast, which was, no food, no juice, no nothing, just water. And I was basically like, hey, I don't know what's going to happen on the other side of this fast, but God, I expect you to do something, right? And that fast forever changed my life, which I will talk about in another video. So once you find that, Joshua moment, you have to then equip yourself with truth and wisdom, or essentially principles that that if you follow this way, if you follow these principles, if you live and think and act by these principles, you will succeed in whatever endeavor you are currently on. Now, obviously, the number one source of that in my case is the Bible, right? It's how I overcame a bunch of my old addictions, self-sabotage, fears, limiting beliefs. And, for example, one of the verses that really changed my life when I started meditating on it and actually living it out was the verse Romans chapter 8, verse 28, which says, "And we know that all things work out together for good to those who love God and to those who are called according to his purpose." And so I realized when I really meditated on this verse was that there's literally nothing I can do that can permanently screw up my calling in God. And even if I do make a mistake, God is still going to make it benefit my life. And so when I realized that it was not only impossible for me to fail permanently, but also impossible for my life to not keep getting better, that's when I just decided to go all in on God. And, my life is pretty cool right now.